And this is really the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which is the term that we gave to these four behaviors. They're the reason I believe that people are afraid of conflict or dislike
Mm,
conflict or are
mm,
anxious or want to avoid conflict, for example.
yeah,
And the good news is that each of these behaviors has an antidote, meaning something you
yeah,
can do instead of. But
yeah,
over time, they do break down not just communication in the moment, but they break down relationships. So
mm,
criticism is when you have an issue with something that the person has said or done,
yeah,
and you give them that feedback in a way that in essence attacks them as a person. So that
mm,
might look like, I really can't believe you missed this deadline again. It's really unbelievable. It's like you don't respect any of us. You're giving feedback, but it feels like an attack on the other
yeah,
person.
mm,
That the person, in essence, is disrespectful, maybe
mm,
lazy, maybe you can't be counted on. Nobody's going to want to hear that kind of feedback. Certainly, they're not going to agree with it, right? At the same time, though, people in essence do need to be given feedback, especially
mm,
when they need to be held accountable in the
yeah,
workplace. And
yeah,
so you need to speak to that, but not in a way that attacks them as a person, right? So it
mm,
might be, Sam, we gave a deadline of Friday. We didn't get it. I'm wondering what's going on, right?
yeah,
So there's an openness, there's a curiosity, but there's
yeah,
also a direct, it was really, really important that we get it in on time. As you know, Sally and Jessica, they were waiting for this. And so, what happened? And then, what can we do to help? How can we help
yeah,
support you? Right. I mean, obviously, there are situations where you have repeated circumstances like this, and people
yeah,
do need to be put on performance
yeah,
improvement plans. But at the same time, in terms of the feedback itself, it is very, very important to do it professionally and giving feedback that doesn't criticize the person at the core becomes
yeah,
very important. So it's in essence complaining without blaming
yeah.
the individual, right? That's incredibly important.